What's going on, man?
Cooperate. I am going to cooperate.
Okay, so parents have some concerns of some stuff they may have found in your room. What would it be?
A human head and hands.
To come face to face with somebody so young, it's kind of scary.
The nature was extremely brutal.
I cut open his belly to see his guts. They're really pink.
Every murder is bad, but this one, it was particularly horrific.
He found this easy to do and admits that.
I was growling and making animalistic noises.
He seems to be completely detached from the fact that this was a human being.
To understand why somebody kills, we have to understand their life story and the silent evolution of their thought patterns.
I think a lot of people are familiar with Grand Junction because they've passed through here along the interstate. We're located in the high mountains of Colorado, halfway between Denver and Salt Lake City.
It is, I would say, a safe place to live.
Brian, since he was a small child, had grown up in the Grand Junction community. His family lived out in the Redlands area, which is a nice upper middle income area of our town.
My name is Kellen Pfeiffer. I'm a former classmate of Brian Cohee. I grew up here in Grand Junction. When I was about 8, we moved up to the Redlands, and that's when I started going to Broadway Elementary, which is where I met Brian. Brian lived in a similar part of the Redlands to me. All the people knew each other. It was very nice living there. You always kind of felt supported. You kind of felt like you knew all your neighbors. It always felt like you could always reach out for help. People often brought each other cookies, treats for the holidays. So it felt very, tight-knit.
Brian Cohee's family seemed normal. They seemed like they had normal, steady jobs.
His mom ran the daycare out of the basement of her home. His father worked in construction. His parents were separating, and they were living in 2 homes, not very far from each other. He lived primarily with his mother, but he frequented his father's home.
Brian's mannerisms in elementary school were a little bit strange. He seemed to exaggerate his movements a little bit. He spoke very loud, oftentimes would over-pronunciate his words.
Brian Cohee's mother was reporting that he had mild autism. From the time he was very little, she was reaching out for help, trying to have him assessed and trying to get him the right help.
I would definitely say that Brian seemed to lack social awareness. Oftentimes it felt like he didn't necessarily know where bounds were supposed to be, or maybe he felt like pushing on those bounds was the best way to get attention.
By middle school and high school, the schools were interacting with the Cohee family about things that they were discovering that were disturbing. Brian Cohee, he was fixated on infamous people who hurt people, such as Hitler, Stalin. He was obsessed with crime scenes. He was obsessed with murder. He was obsessed with serial killers.
It was apparent in talking to Brian's teachers that there was disturbing behavior, disturbing thoughts. What do you remember about Brian?
Not much, just I remember there was like a notebook that had some obviously concerning stuff talking about like serial killer statistics and stuff. Like he seemed to be kind of enamored with that.
So famous serial killers, some information about
kill counts and just stuff like that.
Okay.
Like, that's not entirely normal, you know.
I'm Kerry Daines. I'm a consultant forensic psychologist. Cohee is reading about serial killers, he's researching serial killers on the net, and he's doing all of this not through a lens of empathy. He's doing it through a lens of intellectual curiosity, and he's not empathizing with the victims. He is identifying with the killer. It's the killer and the killer's mindset and the killer's behavior that resonates with him.
People came to know him as somebody with dark humor.
He'd make comments about the Holocaust, you know, wildly inappropriate all the time. He always looked for shock. He fed on that negative attention. I felt like he was bottling up a lot of dissatisfaction. Because like he was a really smart kid, very academically brilliant, but he was a little bit of a social outcast.
Cohee is really emotionally immature, but also you've got to understand that he does not understand the social world. He doesn't understand the nuances of social interactions. He doesn't really understand the reciprocal nature of friendships. And he wants people to take note of him. But the only way that he's found that really he can achieve any sort of attention is by being shocking. And in being shocking, all it really reinforces to him is his difference from other people.
Brian made a series of posts on Reddit that provided a lot of insight into his thinking and his motives.
I saw my therapist today. We talked about how I manipulate others' feelings to see what makes them tick. That because I feel less emotion than others. I'm curious to see what regular amounts of emotion feel like. That I'm like a scientist, and everyone else is my test subject. I test painful stimuli to elicit a reaction. I enjoy those reactions, the ones of pain and sorrow.
The fact that Cohee is going on the internet and he's becoming more and more extreme in what he is posting shows that he is struggling himself in trying to understand this, and he wants to test. Are there other people out there that feel the same kind of things to me? But of course the response is overwhelmingly negative. So that can only feed into this cycle of feeling low, feeling different, feeling other, and also feeling resentful of the world around you.
It did seem like whenever a situation happened, maybe he didn't fully understand. Like if he had done something wrong, sometimes it felt like, you know, it was more funny than it was concerning to him.
I was bored in school, so I made a mace out of tape and a pencil. I became manic again, with no warning. I got the urge to hit a kid. When I hit him on the back of the head, he fell to the ground crying. It was entertaining, so I decided to mock him. It was very funny.
I'm Dr. Julia Shaw, a criminal psychologist and author. What I think is most fascinating about the Brian Cohee case is that he seems to have what are called callous unemotional traits. CU traits, or callous unemotional traits, are when you don't feel the same feelings as other people and you don't have the same empathy. In the brain, callous unemotional traits are related to a part of the brain called the anterior temporal lobe. And what you see with people who are high in callous unemotional traits is this area that is responsible for suppressing callous thoughts is literally smaller. Being high in these traits makes you more likely to hurt other people, and it takes away a barrier that most of us would have to doing things like murder.
It's really hard to know when someone's actually going to take something too far. You know, when something goes from being a joke that you say, you know, to get attention or to be funny, to where that actually gets turned into something maybe a lot more, you know, deeper, a lot more scary.
Brian Cohee had got his car stuck in the river and had made a call to his family for help. Police were notified also.
Hey, partner, you want to come out and talk to me real quick?
Sure, I mean,
Appreciate it, man.
I'm really cold. Is it okay if it's in here? Because
That's fine. Okay, that's fine. I did not know that.
It seemed like a normal thing a teenager would get themselves into.
Well, you're not hurt, right? You're okay?
No, just a little cold is all.
Just beside your pride a little bit. What were you doing down here, bud?
Well, I felt like I needed to get out, and I figured, why not park here and just
relax a little bit?
Relax and think.
Okay.
And I parked on the boat ramp, and I thought it would be easy to get out. And it slid into the river. I was able to get out.
Brian Cohee told officers that he was just hanging out when he had accidentally backed his car too far into the river.
Yeah. He's an inexperienced driver.
Okay. Oh, yep.
Teenagers. Does he need to stay here? Or
I'm sorry?
Is he free to go? I'm sure he'd like to go home and get warm.
I'm sure you'd like to get some pants on.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's not a crash. It's
okay. It's just a stupid accident.
So,
All right, I'm gonna...
And the fact that Brian's parents were on scene and telling the officers what their son had done apparently made a mistake as an inexperienced driver, did not raise any suspicions.
What'd they say about us looking in the trunk?
They're good with it.
Okay.
Hey, quick question for you.
Sure.
So the back bumper, I don't know, you can probably see it from here. It's a lot of red on the back of that. Dripping down it all a little bit. A lot of red. Looks like blood.
Blood?
Yeah. I don't know if did your son hurt himself? Maybe just have him do like a self-check. Make sure he's okay.
Hello?
Brian, are you okay? They see blood on the back bumper of the vehicle.
Really?
Yeah, did you get hurt?
No.
Are you sure you don't have any injuries?
No, I'm fine. There's blood on it?
We're not sure.
We're not sure. It's a red, something red underneath the license plate. But you're not injured. You don't have any cuts?
No, I don't know what would cause blood or whatever it is on the bumper.
Brian was very calm and cool when talking to his parents on the phone after police officers had noticed blood on the back of the car. He acted like nothing happened, there was nothing wrong, and he was very convincing.
This kid didn't come out here to dump a body.
Hi, yes, I was just wondering if you could tell me who I could possibly talk to about filing maybe a report on someone that hasn't been seen for a couple of days.
Okay. Are you needing to file like a missing persons report?
I think so.
Mr. Barnes was reported missing by a friend of his who ran a local business. This friend would see him on a daily basis and noticed that he had not been coming around for a couple days, which made her concerned. One key connection that we found was a wallet belonging to Mr. Barnes had been located by Brian Cohee's father inside the vehicle, and that was submerged in the river.
When they realized that a wallet that was associated with the boat ramp, some local people were literally walking the Colorado River looking for Warren Barnes.
He literally shows up every morning, every day without fail, like at 6 o'clock, sometimes a little sooner. And we always let him in before the customers. We give him free coffee. He's the nicest old man ever.
I am Gail Gandy. I am the youngest niece of Warren Barnes. Uncle Warren is the 7th of 9 children. He was definitely a fun uncle. He liked being around people. He really enjoyed country music. He definitely loved to read. My Uncle Warren would read books downtown. A local shop owner actually would give him a chair so he could sit out in the sun to absorb the sun and read his book and be out with the nature. He would help shop owners bring in boxes and stuff.
And that's the weird thing is I said, I'll see you tomorrow. He said, I'll be here. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know. I just have a really bad feeling.
Because it's unlike him.
We are investigating the missing person.
Okay. I'm just gonna keep looking until I hear from you guys.
Okay.
I'm too worried about him, so.
Okay.
All right, thank you guys. Thanks for
Thank you.
coming out and looking for him.
Now, what's the address emergency?
Hi, there is an emergency. I found something in my son's closet wrapped in a plastic bag.
Okay, what was it?
I'm Deputy Wick. I work for the Mesa County Sheriff's Office. I saw the call populating, and the dispatcher, they'll take the phone call and then they start throwing in notes as they're developing the call, and we can see those notes start coming in.
I think it's a human head.
It's a what?
I think it's a human head.
Is the bag still in the closet?
No, it's in my kitchen sink. It's currently covered with a towel.
My first response was, it's probably a Halloween costume, or maybe it's animal parts.
I was a patrol deputy at the time, and I am now a sergeant. The reporting party had said that she had found what she believed was a human head and hands in her son's closet. So that's pretty much kind of what we had as we were headed out that way.
So driving down here, it's just, what are we going to, what am I gonna see?
I can't just go in there and think somebody's guilty or pull my gun out. I have to let their actions dictate what my actions are gonna be after that. As we're approaching, I'm gonna gauge what type of reaction, what type of cooperation are we getting? Are they aggressive or calm?
What's going on, man? Okay, so parents have some concerns of some stuff they may have found in your room?
Yeah, I believe so.
And what would it be?
A human head and hands.
Are we dealing with somebody that has a mental illness that is hallucinating, seeing this, perceiving it, or is it something fake that he's made and he's playing a prank on mom? I wanted to verify, like, you said human head and hands, are they real?
Like, for real human head and hands?
Yes.
From?
That fellow who went missing recently.
Which fellow was that?
Warren.
Warren. And how did you end up with him?
I murdered him.
With what?
A knife.
Why would you have done that?
I've always wondered what murder felt like.
And now my brain is like, okay, we have something.
Do you have anything on you that's gonna cut, poke, hurt, stick me anything without reaching for nothing? Don't reach for nothing.
My phone and my wallet, that's
okay.
it.
Well, I'm gonna have you face that way, put your hands on top of your head for me real quick. I just wanna make sure you interlace your fingers for me real quick, all right? Okay. How'd you come across the gentleman?
I was driving, and I saw a strange shape near the railway. So I parked my car and investigated it,
Okay.
and I found it to be a man sleeping.
Okay. Where's the knife at?
It is in my sunken car.
And at that point in time, with the information he was giving, the way he was answering, my brain started to shift from, this isn't real, to, okay, so maybe he found a dead person, to, oh my gosh, I think this kid really killed somebody.
When I killed him, I tried disposing of his body by putting it in the river, but
Okay,
I parked
so-
too low in the river. And
Where's
my
the
car-
rest of his body at?
Huh?
Where's the rest of the body at?
What parts?
His family is there listening to everything he's saying, and he seemed unbothered and unconcerned with anything that was occurring.
I'm gonna have you walk over here. You're gonna sit in the back of my partner's patrol car for a minute, okay?
Okay. I referenced to Sergeant Stuckenschneider a motion which we used to handcuff, and He's primary deputy, and he, kind of gave me the head nod of no. We make those decisions based upon behavior, mannerisms, cooperation.
How are you?
Good, sir. How are you? You said your name is Brian?
Yeah. I'm not feeling too well.
You're not feeling too well? All right.
No, these past days I've been very, very anxious.
That's understandable. So what we're gonna have you do here is I'm just gonna have you sit in the back here, okay? I'm gonna turn on the air for you in a second. That way you're not too hot. Are you a hot-blooded or cold-blooded kind of guy?
I am very cold-blooded.
The way he said it to me, I took it as he wasn't talking about the temperature. So hop in here. I know you're tall, so it's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but like I said, I'll get that air on for you.
Sorry about that.
All right. I can't believe it. Oh my God. It's kind of a time to not really know what to do, so.
A bit random too. Why? I don't get it.
How old is Brian?
19.
He's 19. It was a very wild situation to watch unfold. It was kind of like their whole life was falling apart right in that moment.
Can you walk me inside?
So that's when I have Dad take me inside so that I can verify for myself that what we have is an actual human head and hands.
Can I go in there and verify here
Oh,
first?
yeah, please. We haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
So as I'm going in the house, I'm expecting to see something.
I covered it.
Okay.
You see it? You want me to run?
I could tell right away as soon as I lifted up the towel.
Yeah.
It was indeed a real human head.
Yeah.
This is a home where Brian's mother ran a daycare. Several children were present on a daily basis. And to think there was a human head and hands inside the house was quite disturbing.
22, 42, you clear for a call? Oh, yeah, you might want to call investigations. So, oh yeah, he already, I asked him what was going on, he said, I killed the guy. I stabbed him, the head's in the sink, the body is in the river. Does it sound, by my voice, that it looks real? It is.
Now we are actually verified that this is a murder and this is an actual person. Now I'm just calling the cavalry.
All right, Brian. We're headed to the sheriff's office, and your family's gonna go with us, okay? I've got one male on board. We're en route to the office. All right, Brian, I'm gonna roll up these windows because the air gets really loud back there, okay? We do often try to keep people at ease as much as we can, even in situations where they've just confessed to murder. Brian was just that same even keel demeanor. He did not show emotion one way or the other. When we arrived at the sheriff's office, we pull into the back area so I can walk him through into our investigations unit. Okay, Brian.
Thank you.
No problem, sir. So walk with me. We're gonna walk right this way, okay?
You're fine with me not being in cuffs.
I'm fine with you not being in cuffs.
Okay, thank you.
I felt fully comfortable. He was still very polite. He didn't do anything that I thought was indicative of him trying to run or be violent. Take another left. Hard left, right here, right here. All right. I walked him into the interview room and told him he could have a seat and that somebody would be with him shortly.
Even though Brian Cohee had confessed, we knew we had to gain some insight into his mental state and things that would lead us to understand his thinking.
What are we dealing with here? Is this somebody who has acted on hallucinations, delusions? Is this somebody that is suffering with a mental illness?
Brian? Hi. Hi. My name's Pete. I'll be right back with you. I just don't know if you need a drink or... I'd like some water, please. Water? Okay.
My name's Pete Berg. I'm an investigator with the Mesa County Sheriff's Office, and I interviewed Brian Cohee, and
This is Lisa.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay, you?
Good, thanks.
I'm Investigator Norcross. I've worked with Investigator Berg for a really long time. Our job is to get the truth, whatever that truth is.
What's your birthday, Brian?
January 10th, 2002.
And your address?
Which one?
How many do you have?
Well, there's my dad's address and there's my mom's address.
Which one do you live at, both or one? Or?
I sleep at my mom's.
Okay.
But I often visit my dad's every day.
My first impressions of just looking at Brian, he looks like the typical 19, 20-year-old young person. Brian is well-spoken. He's a smart young man. He's cooperative. He's willing to sit and talk with us.
And how did you get here?
I murdered someone.
Okay. But how did you get to my office?
Well, the police drove here from my mom's house.
Okay.
When somebody is very quick to say things like that and implicate themselves in serious crimes, that tells me I have someone who has a unique personality here, and we're going to want to talk to them a lot more.
You said you murdered someone.
I did.
Did you know the person?
No. And I am in a bad state of mind at that time. I have major depressive disorder, so I am not thinking something positively.
One of the things that I knew we needed to ask about was any type of mental health issues that he's either been diagnosed with or he believes he has.
When you say you have a major depressive disorder, I'm just curious what those are.
Well, actually, I have several. I have high-functioning Asperger's.
Okay.
I have ADHD and a major depressive disorder. And they also said I was schizo something. That isn't me misremembering. They just said you're schizo something, whether it be schizophrenia, schizoaffective, schizotypal, or schizoid disorder. They said I had something that was schizo.
Can you imagine? At the age of 19, you've got this list of diagnoses, list of labels. Here are all the reasons why there's something different about you, there's something wrong about you. None of this is being addressed therapeutically, and he feels like a freak.
Yeah, it seemed like Brian had studied serial killers a lot to me, and he did want to be like those people. I mean, it seemed like maybe they were his heroes.
So my nickname in high school was Jeffrey Dahmer.
Okay.
I had a reputation that I would become a serial killer.
Okay. Why did you get that reputation?
Because of how off-putting I was. In school, I was not social. I didn't like anyone. I would purposefully make offensive, crass, rude comments just to get a rise out of people.
Okay.
To ruffle their feathers.
Most people obviously aren't going to jump from I've never done anything wrong to killing a person. They have a progression of leading up to now I'm killing people.
Have you ever done it before?
No.
Okay. You got apps, right?
Yeah.
How about animals? Have you practiced on anything?
Yes.
On October the 23rd, 2018, I killed a feral cat and mutilated it.
Cat has claws and teeth. It can hurt. So I herded the cat into the sleeping bag and beat it and strangled it. Then snapped its neck with a large, heavy airsoft gun. It's metal, so it's heavy.
I was so excited. Excited in a good way. Thrilled. High on homicide, you would say. Oftentimes over the next few hours, I would feel its warmth and play with the limp body.
I then decapitated the cat, hit the body in a shoebox, hit the head in a wine cork box. I kept it for 3 days, then it started to stink. And then I disposed both in the trash and got away with it.
At the age of 16, he kills a cat. I think psychologically that is quite an extreme thing to do. It's also almost the cliche of a serial killer, because that is the kind of behavior that is associated with callous unemotional traits, with the inability to have empathy or sympathy for other creatures. Brian Cohee actually says about his own behavior that he was, in quotes, high on homicide. Now, what that suggests is that in the process of killing, while he is doing this, and also afterwards, arguably, that he is enjoying the adrenaline rush he's getting, and also that presumably he's needing more and more of it to get the same effect. And so that's what we see with his behavior, is that he's graduating to increasingly violent actions.
Brian Cohee had talked about killing a cat and keeping the remains in his house. He indicated that he gets some sense of excitement from this, and that might have been part of the reason why he kept a human head and hands.
And I was driving along, and I see a shape here on the railway tracks. So I'm like, whoa, interesting. So I go up, and as I'm looking, I see a large thing wrapped in a canvas. Okay. And I'm like, that's a homeless person. So I grabbed my knife, I pulled back the canvas, and I stabbed his neck. Okay. He was panicking at first. In his old man voice, he was saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why? And I said, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. And I just kept on stabbing his neck. Is it okay if I do a demonstration? Oh, yeah. This is him. I was straddled on top of him like this. Okay. And he couldn't fight back. It was actually surprisingly easy. I was barely breaking a sweat. I thought, oh, this guy, he's going to be tough. But no, it was actually surprisingly easy. And during the time I was growling and making animalistic noises. Why were you doing that? I suppose it was a frenzy. Okay. I was so excited, so rushed up on adrenaline and I was just... After I killed him, I just couldn't stop saying, stinky, dirty, dirty, stinky, stinky. I stripped his clothes. I cut open his belly to see his guts. They're really pink. Sorry, that was morbid. And then I cut off his head. And then I cut off his hands. And then I took the head, put it in a leftover box.
Uncle Warren was vulnerable without a home. When I found out he was murdered, it really hit hard. And I know I had a hard time just knowing how he passed. It was senseless. We were all shocked. It was very, very hard for all of us.
I think in the heat of the moment of killing somebody, the reason why you might disfigure their face is to try and keep your high going. So if you have done this crime, not out of any real reason other than because you feel like you want to know what it feels like to kill somebody. And if you're there, you might also then go, well, I wonder what it feels like to gouge somebody's eyes out. I wonder what it feels like to cut someone's face. Now, of course, that's all very extreme, but if you're already in that mode of trying things and seeing how they make you feel, that to me makes perfect sense that he would try lots of different things and go increasingly more severe with his actions. So he's trying to maximize the emotional payoff of his murder.
One of the things that makes Brian the scariest, a type of person, is that he found this easy to do and admits that.
I tossed the armpits around. Like I took the right armpit, threw it out, and took the left armpit, threw it out. A whip somewhere around that bridge? Yeah.
The crime scene was located near the Justice Center, near the courthouse here in Mesa County, underneath a bridge. There was a location where homeless people do often stay. It's fairly secluded.
There's an arm, there's another arm. some pictures. There's another one.
All right, here's a leg. Could be the upper arm.
This was a disturbing crime scene, as there were human remains that were thrown around and discarded after the victim was dismembered.
The most common reason for why somebody cuts somebody else's head off, after the commission of a murder especially, is to hide the body. And that is called a defensive strategy. So you have already done this and you're trying to defend yourself from actually having evidence against you. What we also have with Brian Cohee is an offensive strategy where he is decapitating somebody because he wants to, and he's mutilating the body because he's getting some sort of enjoyment out of it, or a thrill. And so that is incredibly uncommon.
When did you start thinking about killing people?
6 months ago.
The 6 months before the murder, Brian Cohee's parents found him with a backpack full of supplies. We referred to it as a kill kit.
My parents found a kit I had been assembling. It had hammers, shovels, knives, large zip ties, duct tape, saw. I was meant for hurting people. They found it though.
His parents discovered it. They were very, very concerned, and it did not make sense to them why he would have this kit. So they took it from him.
It was an ultimatum where if I didn't throw it away, they would call the police.
And then 3 months ago, you started driving around again?
Yeah.
With a new kit?
It was just clubs and a knife.
Okay. And a plan?
Yeah, and a plan.
He was trolling or lurking around town, trying to identify what type of person he would ultimately kill.
I was figuring the police don't, this is not to be taken offense, but police, they don't seem to care as much about high-risk individuals, homeless people, prostitutes, etc. So I was deliberately looking for someone who lived that type of life.
Okay.
In early February of 2021, Brian was conducting searches about how deadly a neck stab wound would be, where homeless people sleep, and how people react to being held at knife point. Brian had also conducted internet searches related to a river washing away evidence, and also how long does it take for a body to stink. It seemed like Brian was obsessed with committing a murder after looking at his internet searches.
So any idea, like, a time of night when you started looking for this person?
That night of the murder, which was 10 p.m.
And what were you wearing?
Well, you know the movie Halloween, Michael Myers?
Mm-hmm.
For Halloween last year, I bought that as a costume to find the mask in my room.
Okay.
And yeah, I just associated that piece of article of clothing with violence. That's why I was wearing it.
That night?
Yes.
He's getting himself psyched up for this grand event. So it's almost like a kid playing dress up. This is an outfit that he associates with violence, and he's trying to get himself into character.
I found Warren at 11, murdered him. 15 minutes I spent there mauling his body. Got back home at 12, and then I tried to go to sleep for an hour. I was worried about it.
He actually went home to bed, couldn't sleep because he was afraid he had left evidence. And that's when he returned to the scene behind the Justice Center and ultimately took pieces of the body and disposed of the primary pieces of the body in the Colorado River, which is when his car got stuck in the river. The rest of his torso and legs were never discovered. I have never handled a murder case where a human body was murdered and destroyed after the murder in this way.
There was more than enough evidence found in the home and at the scenes, in addition to Brian's confession, to determine that he was the person who had killed Warren Barnes.
You mean that the next 15 years of my life, book set in stone, prison.
He was very much looking forward to the consequences that he knew were going to be coming. He just misjudged the amount of the consequences.
What did it feel like?
It was intense. It was a rush of adrenaline. It wasn't fear, it was just pure, what's the word, excitement, I suppose? Not excitement as in joy, just excitement as in increased heartbeat.
Did you enjoy it or not enjoy it?
Did I enjoy it? I don't know. Sort of neutral to the whole thing. I didn't enjoy it, but I didn't hate it.
What did you think it was going to feel like?
I thought it would be the best feeling in the world.
I think when he says, I didn't enjoy it, but I didn't hate it, what he's trying to say is, I'm not a sadist. I didn't do this just because I get pleasure from hurting people. It's more that I did a thing because I thought it was interesting, and we know that he got at least a thrill out of it, that emotional / just physical response that he was maybe struggling to get elsewhere. I think Brian Cohee killed Warren Barnes because he wanted to feel something. And notably, and this is where we get to those callous, unemotional traits, he seems to be completely detached from the fact that he has taken somebody's life. He doesn't have those feelings of remorse and guilt.
After his interview, we took Brian back to the jail, and as he was sitting in booking, he kind of grinned and said, I feel like Hannibal Lecter right now, and kind of got a grin like he was a celebrity at this point because he had now killed somebody and got arrested. Because you don't hear about serial killers that don't get caught. So now he got caught and he's famous in his mind, I believe. But then it was almost like another part of euphoria of, and now I get to go to jail and tell people I'm a killer.
Brian pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. He was looking at a life sentence.
This crime sounds crazy. But just because it sounds crazy and is not expected, that does not make him insane.
The plea of not guilty by reason of insanity was entirely dismissed because actually he had proven his legal sanity all the way through his police interview. He was not hallucinating, he was not struggling with paranoid beliefs or delusions. He was fully in control of his behavior.
I think the jury did have a hard time hearing the story of what happened to Mr. Barnes, that he was an innocent victim who did nothing to provoke the situation. I think it was a lot to handle for them.
The fact that this monster would attack a 69-year-old man while he was sleeping. It was such a cowardly act. The judge said this was the worst crime he had ever heard in his lifetime on the bench. I know it shocked everybody. It wasn't just our family that was affected. It was pretty much everybody in this valley was affected by it.
Brian Cohee, who committed first-degree murder. Every murder is bad, but this one, it was particularly horrific. Ultimately, he's serving the appropriate sentence of life without parole.
I think that Cohee killed Warren because he was feeling down, feeling lost, feeling that he couldn't relate to anybody in the world other than serial killers.
I think there were two things going on when Brian Cohee murdered Warren Barnes. I think the first thing is he was thrill-seeking. He was trying to get a rush, and we could see that as a pattern of behavior where he perpetrated various violent acts over the course of his life, and they got more and more extreme. The other thing that I think was happening is that we know that Brian Cohee had a fascination with serial killers. He would record their kill counts. He was fascinated by the fame that comes with killing people. And I think it's possible that he saw himself as someone who would fit that kind of label, that maybe that kind of fame would look good on him.
This is somebody that is really struggling to experience any kind of emotion. He's so cut off from his own emotions. He doesn't have a language for his own emotions. You know, he's expecting to feel something. I think that a lot of things are best left as fantasies because the reality just doesn't measure up.
Uncle Warren got the moniker the reading man because a lot of the downtown business owners saw him reading all the time. There is a memorial downtown off of Main Street. I believe that we should remember my Uncle Warren being the kind, generous person that he was. Remember to take time just to go out and soak up some sun. Tomorrow may not come for you. Enjoy the little things in life and the here and now.